When I first came to the United States, I was 20 years old and working as an aide. I didn't have much experience, but I was eager, also very nervous. I'd grown up in a small town in France and hadn't ever spent time away from home, let alone across an ocean. My English still needed work, but I was confident enough to get by. I expected it to be a good year, a new adventure, a cultural exchange, something I'd tell my friends about when I went home. I was matched with the Joseph family. I don't want to name the exact town for privacy reasons, but it was an upper middle class neighborhood, quiet streets, nice houses, big backyards, the kind of place you'd expect to find well-behaved kids. PTA men's and dads who worked non-stop. I remember being so relieved. When I first arrived, I thought that would be easy. Nothing bad happens in places like this. The Josephs had two boys, Brock and Brandon Brock. The older one was 12. He was a pretty typical kid, kind of lazy, sometimes rude, but harmless. Overall, he made jokes, liked his Xbox, and mostly stayed out of trouble. Brandon Thou was different. He was 9, and already had this coldness to him. I don't know how else to describe it. There was something off. I think it's likely he had some kind of social disorder. When I first met him, he just stared at me without saying a word, not shy or embarrassed, just staring like he was studying me. After a few seconds, he smiled and asked, "Are you the maid?" I laughed awkwardly and said I was going to help look after him and his brother for the year. He didn't laugh with me. He just kept watching. It didn't take long to realize. Brandon wasn't like the other kids. My host parents warned me that he was difficult. They said he had a bit of an attitude, but that was the understatement of the century. Brandon didn't just have an attitude. He was mean. And I don't mean the usual bratty stuff like teasing his brother or refusing to eat what he was served. It was worse than that. He lied constantly about everything. He once told his teacher that Brock tried to choke him in the kitchen, which never happened. He told the neighbor that his parents locked him in a closet at night. He even told me that the last au pair ran away because of him and that she was never seen again. When I tried to scold him for it, he narrowed his eyes and said, "Don't tell me what to do." Everything was manageable for me even